guys, welcome back to the channel. Fabrizio Romano here as always to keep you posted on the transfer market. Today guys, as always, several things to say. We will go from Semenyo to Vinicius Jr, Tottenham because the signing is coming, and then Guehi, Maresca, Marmoush. Let's jump into it together. Always many updates, guys, always many stories, and so let me start with the official statement coming this morning, finally, after a long negotiation, a long story. I've always been telling you about Manchester City and Antoine Semenyo. Well, finally, that deal is official. Manchester City confirmed the agreement with Bournemouth. Everything has been agreed, the contract for the player till 2031. Everything has been signed with Bournemouth a few days ago with the here we go I gave you, and now is official. Antoine Semenyo joins Manchester City and he will wear the same shirt number as Yaya Touré, Man City legend, 42. So good luck to Antoine Semenyo, ready for this new chapter at Manchester City. And for Man City, we know, is not over on the market, because I maintain what I've been telling you for days. Man City are still trying to make the deal happen in January for Marc Guehi. My information is that Manchester City believe internally that they can reach an agreement with Crystal Palace for Guehi quite easily. So should not be a problem to reach a club-to-club agreement with Palace, because Palace are open to finding a solution in January for Marc Guehi. Obviously, they would be also happy to keep the player with them, and they are not desperate to sell Marc Guehi. But if a good proposal arrives, obviously to make some profit, some money for the player in January, being out of contract and not extending it ahead of the summer transfer window, would be good and smart for Palace. So City are really convinced they can reach an agreement with Palace. But it's the player who has to decide, and Marc Guehi is taking his time, with his family, with his agents, considering all the opportunities, because Arsenal have been calling over a potential deal in the summer. Arteta is a big fan of the player. This is why Arsenal are interested. So Mikel Arteta really believes he's a top player, but Arsenal also have many players in that position. And so that's a point. Then there is genuine interest from Liverpool. They had a deal agreed last summer, on deadline day collapses, but Liverpool remain absolutely interested in Marc Guehi. And so it's going to be one to watch for sure. Liverpool, because I told you, for the summer they're interested. Let's see if they open doors to anticipate the deal in January or not. And then there is also interest from Bayern, but with Upamecano extending his contract, obviously it depends on exits from maybe other defenders in the summer, not for January. So this is the situation around Marc Guehi. Is the player who has to decide. Let's see and follow the situation in the next days. Then I wanted to add something, guys, on Brazilians. And let me start with Tottenham, because Tottenham are closing in on a deal to sign Sousa, a left back, 18 years old, from Santos. There is an agreement in principle with the player on personal terms with his agent Bertolucci. There is an agreement with Santos on the numbers of the deal, 15 million euros. Now they are working on the structure of the deal and payment terms. So final details, and then the here we go is expected for Sousa to become new left back for Thomas Frank at Tottenham Hotspur. So the conversation is active, is ongoing, working on details of the deal, and so Sousa could be the first signing 2026 for Tottenham. Tottenham goalkeeper Kinski has interest from West Ham, so that could be also another interesting story to follow in the upcoming days. West Ham were interested in Bento, goalkeeper from Al Nassr, but he's close to joining Genoa at this stage in Serie A. And then on Brazilians, I wanted to mention something on Vinicius Jr, because last night it's been crazy. Real Madrid beat Atletico Madrid in the semi-finals of the Spanish Super Cup, but Diego Simeone, the manager of Atletico Madrid, on the touchline close to Vinicius Jr, if you saw the images, several times was going there and saying to Vinicius, Florentino Perez will sell you. Remember what I'm telling you, Florentino Perez will sell you. So was clear the intention from Diego Simeone to provoke Vinicius Jr. That was the message, obviously. After the game, Simeone said, I don't remember what I said. These kind of things stay on the pitch. And so this was the message from El Cholo. But what's the reality behind that? Guys, actually, from what I'm told, the situation is completely the opposite. Florentino Perez would love Vinicius Jr. to stay at Real Madrid and to sign a new contract. Florentino Perez is among those who into Real Madrid are pushing for Vinicius Jr. to sign a new contract. He's under contract in 2027, and Florentino would love to keep Vinicius beyond that. So from Florentino, the message is completely the opposite. He would love Vinicius to stay. It's Vinicius who has to decide what he wants to do, trying to understand his role in Real Madrid future plans under Xabi Alonso and in general. So it's Vinicius who has to say, okay, I want to sign or I don't want to sign. from Real Madrid, and especially from the president, and you can understand this is not a normal president, he's a legendary president of Real Madrid, influential president like Florentino, he would love Vinicius to stay. So let's see what's going to happen there between Vinicius and Real Madrid. And then, guys, let me end in Manchester, because from what I understand, despite all the questions I'm getting on Enzo Maresca and Manchester United, he's been linked in Italy with a potential role at Manchester United. At the moment, guys, what I'm told is that Manchester City are interested in Enzo Maresca for the future. As I always told you, it's not something imminent, it's not something guaranteed, it's something for the future. If Enzo Maresca will be available as a manager when Pep Guardiola decides to leave, but Pep has not decided anything at this stage. So Man City have an interest. From Manchester United, the message is a different kind of coach for the summer, not a coach for now. This is why the links from Italy with Maresca taking the Manchester United job immediately are something that I'm told is not concrete at all at this stage. Man United will take their time to start the process and try understand who is the best manager possible from season 2026-2027. And then, guys, I wanted to mention also Omar Marmoush, because I'm getting many questions on Omar Marmoush. Well, we started with Man City, they signed Antoine Semenyo, and so adding one more player to their roster, but my understanding is that this doesn't mean that Omar Marmoush has to leave Manchester City in the January transfer window. First of all, the player is now focused on the AFCON, so there is nothing moving, but also, I'm told, even after the AFCON, Omar Marmoush is not desperate to leave Manchester City. He wants to compete for his place. He wants to spend the next 6 months at the club trying to show his best level possible, try to help Manchester City. Then, obviously, in the summer, we will see, because if Marmoush doesn't play in the next 6 months, obviously the situation could be different in the summer and he could look for different opportunities. But as of now, and my job is to tell you what's happening today, I can't predict what's going to happen tomorrow. As of today, the player is not planning to leave Manchester City. The player is not asking to leave Manchester City. The situation is completely quiet, so he will stay professional, trying to find as much space as possible. There were links with Bundesliga clubs, with Premier League clubs and more, but I'm told that Marmoush at this stage is not leaving Manchester City. We have to follow the situation of Oscar Bobb, because there is interest from Borussia Dortmund, there are more clubs, but it's expensive, and so at the moment the situation for Oscar Bobb is still moving. Let's see who can pay what Manchester City want for Oscar Bobb. But remember what I told you, it was on Christmas Day. If Semenyo arrives, and Semenyo arrived at Manchester City, the player who could leave the club in January is Oscar Bobb, more than others. Despite stories on Semenyo is staying, he signed few new contract a few months ago. Despite stories on Marmoush intention to stay, is Oscar Bobb, who could leave Manchester City in the January transfer window. And so, guys, let me hear your thoughts on all these stories. Remember to like this video, turn on the notification bell, subscribe to the channel, and let me know your opinion on Vinicius Jr, on Antoine Semenyo, on Sousa, Mark Guehi. Where should he go? With many clubs interested in the defender, and then Enzo Maresca, Omar Marmoush. Your point of view, guys. I wait for you here. Remember to like this video, turn on the notification bell, and see you every single day. Ciao.